I'm Larry.
I'm Lauren.
And this is our love story. My name is Larry G, and I'm Associate Creative Director, so I do advertising. When and where did me and Lauren meet? I first saw Lauren through Miami Ad School. I don't remember the exact date, but it was over a year and a half ago, probably.
My name is Lauren. I'm a copywriter. Larry and I met in a Miami Ad School class. He was my teacher. Our first date was at the strip club. The first time we really hung out like for real hung out, was at a strip club. That would be Tootsie's in Miami. Shout out to that place. So Larry was actually, I don't know if it can really be called a date because he was already going with a friend there, and he happened to be nearby my house, and he was like, oh, I'm here. I was like, oh, you're going to the strip club? Cool, come get me. So they came and picked me up, and at first it was like three of us just kind of chilling, watching the strippers, and but then his friend like found a stripper he wanted to be with for the night, so we're kind of alone, and then that was kind of it. Then from there we sort of like developed a relationship after that, but it's just fun to say our first date was at the strip club.
Well, the thing is, I live far away from my family. I was living in Miami when I met Lauren, and I'm from Virginia, so all my family was there. So we had been dating for a while, and my birthday was coming up, and I was like, I haven't been home in a while. I like to go home for my birthday, and would you like to come with me? So that was a great trip, and she finally got to meet my parents and all my friends and things like that. My family's a very accepting family, and it was just they hadn't seen me in a while, so they were just happy to see me. They were happy to see Lauren. I think I could have brought anybody home, and they would have just been happy that I was home, but they really liked Lauren, so it was a good experience. We have like two nice parks behind our house that we just explored yesterday, actually. So I think we're still trying to find our favorite place. So we like going to museums and different parks, so it's kind of like a complete package of discovering New York together. So I can't say one place for sure yet, but we're still like adventuring together to find what that place is. So that's exciting for me.
I think we both share like a really strong love of observing the world and observing other people. And I think it's one thing that we found in each other is like the ability to be able to talk about those observations with each other. Because we're both like really like constantly like eyes open, ears open, looking around, trying to understand like why things are and how things are happening around us. And I think that like that's something that I had been searching for, is like somebody who's as interested in understanding like the why behind things in the world. That's like something that really interests me in life. And I have been missing that in like many intellectual conversations before this. So I think couples should have things in common because, I don't know, for me at the end of the day, it's those commonalities that like when you hate each other, remind you why you're together. So like, you know, at the end of the day, you can always level with each other on the same common grounds, basic common grounds. If you have the same basic belief systems, you can always fall back on like, no, like we are not the kind of people who do this, or we are the kind of people who believe this. And because of that, you can like always find a common space and work things out.
Okay, even outside of advertising, I think we're both creative people, so we like anything to do with creativity, art, literature, so we go to a lot of museums together, and it's always fun to see her interpretation of different things. And I think it's important because we spend a lot of time together, you know, so it's always good to have somebody on the same page as you. But it's some things we don't have in common, and that's interesting too, to get her take based on her upbringing and her cultural experience. And she teaches me things and I teach her things, so that's cool too, and keeps the relationship balanced and fresh. I think ultimately we are individuals, like we are human beings and we share different interests. So I would never want to limit her because I'm not interested. She loves musicals. I can't do musicals. I try to, but I'm just really not into it. So I'm always encouraging her, hey, your friend is in town, why don't you guys go see the musical? You know, and that kind of gets me in the clear. And vice versa, I think you also need some alone time, and I think that's healthy in any relationship as well.
I think couples should definitely have separate interests. I think like it's if you find a couple that would say that they have zero separate interests, that's a lie. I think all people have separate interests. It's just a good couple shows their separate interests because they have the freedom to be themselves. Well, for me, when I'm in a in this relationship and in any relationship, be it a friendship or anything, I think that all people should have their sense of self. Like for me, it's really important to have a sense of self and like whatever things I like for myself. But then you grow, strengthen your relationship by the other person accepting whatever your individual things are and like showing an interest, even if it doesn't actually interest them.
Still working on that, right, baby?
Yeah, we're working on it.
I think I'm more of a I just want space type of person.
And I'm more of a come over here and talk to me right now, like in your face all the time, like tell me everything you're feeling kind of person. I'm not good at subtle like non-verbal cues. I'm like, you have to tell me everything you feel right this minute, and I get frustrated. People won't talk to me. Which is why we're still working on it.
I think the best advice I received is that relationships are hard work. They're like a job. Every day you have to show up and work on it. You're gonna have some good days, some bad days, but you always gotta try your best and just keep working on it to make it better. I agree with that.
I just think like everybody, something I always say there's no imperative for everyone. Like different things work for different people, and it's really hard to like judge other people's relationships. My advice is always like do whatever you can to find what works for you guys, and then don't apologize to anybody for it.
Communication. Talk about stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people.
I really like talking to you.
Tell people talk about it, talk it out.
Right after we started dating, pretty much like within a few months after we started hanging out, I moved out of the country. And so first I lived in Europe for a few months, and then I lived in Asia. And I think that was like a moment when we could really like stop talking or like grown apart, grown separate. But instead, this guy got on a plane and showed up in Singapore to come see me. And that was like, for me, the moment that I was like, yeah, this is going to be a real thing.
I think coming from Virginia, I was definitely raised to be a gentleman. So it's really funny with Lauren. I don't know about guys in Florida or something, but I like to open doors and get her flowers and things like that. And she's always like, "Why are you opening my door? I can open my own door."
No, I was raised to be like a strong, independent woman. Like, don't require that of men. Like, it's nice. I like it. I just like. It took me a long time to just like nicely accept flowers and say thank you instead of saying don't give me flowers. So the great thing about Larry is, I'm not sure if you could tell this, but the great thing about him is he's 100% calm all the time, always, no matter what. Like he never overreacts. He never gets like crazy. He thinks through everything before he expresses it, which kind of makes arguing a little frustrating. But for me, I'm like always like 0 or 100. Like I go from like despair to elation in 0.6 seconds flat, and he levels me perfectly. That's all the time. He's like at a perfect baseline. He's like he's always the one who tells me like, oh, everything's gonna be fine, don't worry. All like the most stressful things that like I've had in the time that I've known him, I've had many stressful moments because it's been like a really like high change time in my life, like finishing school and starting work and all this stuff, and that kind of stuff is like really scary. And so for me, like just my regular anxiety levels could easily be like off the charts, but he's like a calming force in my life. He levels me perfectly.
I think her personality. I think she's a very outgoing person, and I think anybody would agree to that if you ever meet her in person. She has a big personality. She's always expressive, outgoing, full of energy. I rarely ever have to wonder what she's thinking. She's definitely gonna let you know what she's thinking at all times, and she's just a strong woman, you know, and that really attracts me to her. I would say maybe creativity. Like I was saying earlier when I was answering some questions about, like I enjoy it with both creative people, like even outside of advertising, you know, interested in art and poetry and things of that nature. So
That's a good answer.
I think a lot of things like that.
That's true. Yeah, I think we both really like experiencing new things.
And traveling. Creativity.
Yeah,
Relationship material.
that's right. That's good stuff.